in my own
Okay.
little village.
Amici, good morning. It's nice to be here. Welcome to a brand new week. And Nigeria is now operating a flexible constitution. That is why all these processes must be taken. We operate a rigid constitution. So the public hearings are part of it. And even before we even talk about having a bill passed, this document must still be transmitted to the state assemblies for their own input. So it's a long process. And I heard the Senate spokesman saying before December, the document will be transmitted to 36 state assemblies for them to put their input. But it was encouraging people to attend the public hearing and put their demands. Four key demands so far in the public hearing: devolution of powers, creation of state police, and one other one. I can't remember now, but these are the key issues Nigerians are clamoring about. But Tunde Kule, I beg to disagree with you that the military just sat in a room and designed. It should be like hitting on the sensibility of the technocrats that design a state like Nasarawa State, technocrats that design states.
Who are the technocrats?
No, but
we had.
Sorry, what we need to point out here is that for each season of state creation, the military, as undemocratic as they were, used to set up panels.
Exactly.
They set up panels, and it's those panels based on the basis of those panels' recommendations that local governments were.
Who were members of this panel?
If I look arbitrarily the way and manner it was done somehow, but at least the state creation that took place in during the Murtala regime there was a panel that was set up. The one that took place during Babangida regime, there was a panel that was set up. The one that took place during Abacha regime, there was also a panel. The whole thing is that the way and manner those things were decided.
Yes,
but manipulation.
It boils down to who set up the panel.
Now, the military,
is it not one man who decides on what to advise to take from the panel?
Okay, that's true.
The commander-in-chief can decide to accept or reject any
very well
or some of
Let's
the
agree.
recommendations of the panel, just as the military in 1979 and in 1999, the constitution drafting committee they set up, they rejected some of their proposals.
Fine. Now,
so it tells you that it boils down to the whims and caprices of the military dictator in power.
The 1979 constitution we used until 1999 was drafted by the military, yes or no? The 1999 constitution we are amending now is drafted by the military government, whether we like it or not. And they are the ones that have given us what we have. Now, the world has changed so fast, Amici. What we are referring to, that public works, block holes, how many urban centers do we have? Now you have a large rural urban migration. The urban centers have expanded beyond what we used to have. So you have a street then, and you say, oh, public works can fix it. Now you have like 20 streets in that same locality of the urban settlement. So the population has grown by 3 or 4 times what it used to be in 1970s, 80s as it were. So the population has grown and technology has come. What we are saying is the right persons in the right places are not there. You can have 100 states. And I'm not opposed to state creation. You can have 1 million local government, but the people manning it is a problem. So if everybody, somebody has reached out to me that I'm going to school, I want to do my master's, do my PhD to go and become local government chairman. Me too, I want to loot. That is a very bad attitude. We need to punch ourselves first and foremost as Nigerians. What do we want as a country? It starts from the family. What do you want your children to be? How do you want your family to run? It starts from there. Peter Obi was speaking yesterday very passionately. It goes beyond passion, sir. It goes beyond passion. The individuals that are listening, are they changing their ways? Corruption is neck deep in Nigeria, in every sector.
In a federal system, we need to appreciate how we started and the basis of our coming together as a nation. We adopted the federal system of government. That was a product of the various constitutional conferences that were held in London, in Lagos, and all that. At the end of the day, Nigerians, as it were, agreed to have a 3-state structure going into that federalism. Now, if you're putting a state together and you reach such an agreement, there are ways, processes established for. It's just like you're in marriage with your wife. And the next day, all of a sudden, she goes out to bring twins, adopt twins, without consulting you and all that, and impose them on you and say they are your children. You must live with them, whether you like it or not. No, the basis is that there has to be agreement. The only state on record that was created in Nigeria based on the dictates of the Constitution as agreed at the onset was the Midwest state. There was a referendum.
1956, 1953, which of the
No,
constitution
No,
created?
1960
1963 Republican
Republican Constitution,
Yes,
1963.
no, yes, 1960 and 1963. The state was created in 1964. All the processes were exhausted. They held referendum. Do you want to be part of this new state? Every other part of Nigeria decided whether they will create it or not. After that, the Midwest state, every other state was the head of state and commander-in-chief. They set up some
The 12 states by
pseudo
Gowon.
committees, and at the end of the day, they come out from it is what they desire. Nobody can challenge them. They will say, oh, within the Armed Forces Ruling Council, within the Provisional Ruling Council, within these, but they took the decisions by themselves. And there is no state that took that process. So it's important because if you're building a house, the foundation is the most important thing. If you're building a house in Abuja, for instance, before the development control must come and supervise your setting out and your foundation, because they understand they must be present there that you're taking the required processes. So any other process that deviates from this norm is faulty and may cause problems.
The house you are referring to is creating new state, isn't it?
No, it's an
because we cannot go back to where we are coming from, that okay, let's cancel all the states, let's just have a Nigeria, and let's go to the constitution, let's go to National Assembly, let's do public hearing to know if Benue State or Edo State should be created again. Now we have passed that. We are going forward. What do we need to go forward? Amechi, Nigeria is a complex state. The more, the merrier. We have what they call division of labor in economics. If the more you have small components to run this thing, the better. Let them create 31 states
so
more.
if the
Add to
foundation
this.
is poor and
The challenge is
oh, we've gone beyond the foundation. Let's continue to add blocks on top. We'll manage the problem.
The challenge is I work with budget. I knew some research the budget did. Before you become a state governor, sir, you must know the population of your state. Before you become a state governor, sir, you must know the minerals available in your state. Before you become a state governor, sir, you must know how many tribes are there, how many ethnic groups are in your state. Before you become a state governor, sir, you must know what are the productive agricultural products in your state. How many state governors know? That's why I say it starts from leadership.
Okay.
The leader, you want to be a state governor, you must have this handy. Nigerians should not go and vote blindly. Anybody that comes to campaign must come with these ingredients. You can't just come and say, I want to be governor. You came from abroad, you have money, you want to be governor of a state because you want to loot. No. The country has gone beyond this level. Nigerians are smarter than they used to be in 1980s, 1970s. So tell us what you know about my state before you become a governor. You don't just put Murons as our state governors and then we'll have rubbish.
My concern is that if we are going to have more states,